All right, hear me out. Last week, I was recording a podcast with this lovely woman. She's a therapist out of the UK, and we got to talking about sexless marriages and sex in marriages, how they evolve, things like that. And she asked me something along the lines of, Natalie, why do you think it devolves so much in marriage and that? And I think my best guess, because I'm a coach, I'm not a therapist, but from listening to people, my experiences, things like that, it's this. We're not all introduced to sex the same way. Some people weren't even allowed to have boundaries growing up around who could hug them or give them kisses or anything like that. Some people, later in life, there was a breach of trust around sex. Now, all of that contributes to trauma. Obviously, it creates trauma. Trauma, unfortunately, is the victims to heal or to find a way to live with so that they can also be happy, which sucks because after something happens to you, now you have to, keep going through it in order to not let it basically run your life. And for so many, they didn't take the time, maybe because they didn't have the time, maybe because they didn't have the resources to be able to reclaim sex and re-identify what it would mean to them moving forward in their relationships, in their life. And when it wasn't dealt with, trauma is still going to come out in one way or another. I think a lot of people are learning much later in life, and even while attached to somebody else through marriage or other, long-term relationship, that intimacy has taken a turn. And the person who can change it doesn't necessarily want to, because it's quite painful. And I'm sorry.